Hello.
All right, here we go. You can adjust it. It's got a little. It tightens up those sensors in the front. Yeah, that's what. So you can like tilt it up if you want. Kind of get it.
Cool. Okay.
You could even hold it too.
Is it better for your audio if I'm closer to it, or does it matter?
It is a little better.
Yeah.
Hello. It is a little better. Yeah, you don't have to get too close. Okay, so
record table. I forget how big I am sometimes, bro. I just start wrecking shit.
yeah, so the Slightly Interesting podcast.
Yeah, this is dope.
This is it, right? And it's a little. First, when you get going, you're like, damn, what's going on? There's a lot of shit. The lights are flashing and stuff. But after a while, you kind of settle in. And so, the goal of this podcast is just basically to kind of share people's stories. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on in the desert, and people are doing things. They're overcoming challenges and thriving. You know, so to me, I always think like you're a fascinating person. Like I love the stuff that you do, and I've known you for a while, a little bit.
Yeah, dude, likewise.
And so I think that people will get value out of this. You know, and then figuring out. Just everybody has their different niche. Like they're an artist or they work hard. They have businesses. You know, it's always usually a combination of all those things. So for me, I just want to kind of have like a casual conversation about some of the stuff you got going on. It's an opportunity for you to kind of promote things you're working on, talk about things you came through or went through, you know, in the
cool.
in your getting to where you are now, because like you're killing it up there.
Thanks, man.
What shop are you at right now?
I'm at Sacred Symbols Tatao in Morongo Valley. So it's still a journey, and I'm still learning so much. So that's why it kind of is kind of weird to talk about the success, because I don't feel that yet. But yeah, but to get to where I'm at right now, yeah, for sure, it's definitely been a road, a rocky one too, man.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I feel like that's the thing though, is like like today I was laughing on the way here. I'm like, I was like, super excited. I'm like, man, but like it's a challenge, you know, it's always a challenge. And I'm like, man, I got to be at work. I got to get this stuff. But this is a priority to me.
Yeah,
this
is major, bro.
This is
and
something.
This is a huge setup. This is badass. And you're right. Once you get into the lights and stuff, it is a lot of stuff to kind of just push to the side real quick and just kind of stay focused.
Yeah, you're like, So that's why I figured like a relaxed kind of environment. And then just doing it. This is like the third one.
Yeah,
fourth
I like
one
this.
I've recorded.
I like the lighting. I like the blue lights are kind of settling, you know?
Yeah.
Like I thought there was a whole thing going on. Like, oh, dude, this is nice. Yeah. I like it.
But it's just, you know, sharing that stuff. Like you said, you don't feel like the success has come yet. But to some people it has. Like they look at you like, wow, you know, that's really cool. So it's kind of hard. And I think it's important for us to recognize those moments of like, not that we've arrived, but we've made progress for sure.
Right.
You know?
Every day is. I think that the big rewards are like being able to just wake up next to my kids.
Yeah,
that's probably my biggest one. Because like I think for me the success is just being here, man. Just, you know, doing my thing, because they always say it could be worse, you know. Like what happens if you lose your hands, or what happens if you lose your ability to walk, or any ability.
Yeah.
It's like, man, it could definitely be worse. So I think every day is a success, and to just appreciate it is to stay focused, I think. So yeah, that's
true.
That's what
I was thinking that on the way here. Like I'm into stoicism really big. You know what stoicism is?
No,
it's kind of like that? It's like old philosophy from the Greek days.
Stoic.
The Romans, yeah, and it was like Alexander the Great, or you know, like that from that time period. And it's philosophy.
I love it. Yeah.
And so there's like Stoics, Epicureans. There's like a bunch of different schools of it.
I love it.
And so stoicism is like all these cool random quotes, you know, and that's kind of how I got into it. And there's one is called memento mori, and it's like live like you were to die.
Yeah.
And every day you have to live like, you know, you could die. And so I was thinking on the way here, I'm like, man, and I was just going through emotions, right? And I'm like, I got to get here, and I got to make it on time, and I got to go to work, and I got this, and it's beautiful, and look at the mountain, and like going through all these emotions, you know?
Right.
And it's really good to feel that, you know, and kind of feel it and then let it go, not get stuck in it. But it was funny. It was a good drive. I laughed. I cried. I'm looking at this guy on a tractor, and he's just chilling. And I'm like, look at that guy. Like, and I'm like, I gotta get out of the way. And I'm like, so it's a whole array of emotions. And it's about, like you said, like the little things. Every day, if you live it like you could not have another day, you have to be grateful.
Right.
And so kids and family and fundamentals, like the basics, is how you find your happiness. And I think so many of us, myself included, like we struggle trying to feel like we've arrived, or to just take a moment and be grateful and like smell the roses,
Bro, it's so funny you say that, because I got a little thing that I made. It says it's just for Morongo Valley, so it says stop and smell the creosote.
Yeah,
creosote,
that's awesome.
However you're supposed to say it, but
yeah,
I got a picture of the creosote.
That's that desert smell.
Yeah, bro, because sometimes you could just, and it's just from the same thing, man, just getting so caught up in stuff that, like, sometimes I'll just step out of my car and I'll be in that same mindset, bro, and it's like that smell brings me out of it. Like, at least I'm here, like, able to smell this, because anybody who's lost their freedom in any kind of sense, even if it's just, again, your ability to walk and your freedom to just be able to get out of your room and go outside, bro, if you're sick or anything like that.
Down take it for granted.
Yeah, taking it for granted. I mean, there's probably so many people that could vouch for that, bro, that it's like, once that's gone, you appreciate it so much.
And health is wealth.
Health is wealth, man. Or the guy that they talk about, the guy who's had the success, who's like, been in his deathbed, and he's like, if I could do it all over again, I'd spend more time with my family.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be that guy, bro, that's just like plugging away, and then boom, it's like, oh damn, I forgot to kick it with the family. Like,
that's my thing right now. I'm like, man, I gotta carve this time out.
I feel like it's so important, and I'm guilty of it every day though. Like, every day I get caught up in it, man. So even same thing coming here, I was like, super excited, and like, I gotta go. I didn't even barely say goodbye to anybody. I was like, hold on, and I go back in the house, give everybody hugs and kisses, and then dip. And
that's cool.
So I think that's gotten me to where I'm at, because I haven't gotten to where I'm at without them. That's for sure. Without my lady and
that's your
my
basis,
kids
foundation.
And everything, bro. So me and my lady, we plug away, and I think amongst just regular life and the financial aspect of always having to have those bills paid and the mouths fed, bro, you just end up making decisions along the way that land you to where you're at, and then boom, you just commit to certain things. Like tattooing, I was like blessed to have that, because it's like, here's my ability, and it pays me, so let me just do this. And I've always been into tattooing, so as soon as I had kids, I was like, all right, like, I'm just going to keep tattooing then and see where this takes me, because I know when I'm waking up and I hear that alarm going off, bro, I'm not a morning person, dude. Like, I wake up and I hear that alarm and I'm like, oh, man, like, I got to get up right now. Like, what am I about to go do? Like, I'm about to go work for this job and make this amount of money, and this guy's going to make this much money off of me. So if I just do what I'm doing right now for myself, I'll just be better off, I think. And then I just get up every day against my own will and just go do whatever I'm supposed to do for my craft, and then
to get there,
paying off.
That's, and then I'm in the same boat. Like I have these things. I've been fortunate. Did something, like, I know I would always work the job, right? That's what we do. But I heard a saying, it was like, when you're at work, you're employed. When you're off work, you're deployed. And so, like, I took that to heart, like, bam. And
I've never heard that
It's
before.
awesome.
What is
and when you're off work, or at work, you're employed. When you're off work, you're deployed. Like let's go.
Like at war.
Deployed like at war. Like, I got to squeeze these hours. And so I did that for years, like for, I don't know, for a while, and I was trying to squeeze out the maximum hours per day so I could get the real estate stuff going and get this going, and because I knew,
so even after burning out at work, you'd still go home and just burn out on something else, huh? Damn, that's intense.
And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Still, now I'm doing this, and I still got work, and I still got the real estate,
just
and I still got this,
and
I'm trying to, like, just let me just pump the brakes and, like, look at the mountain for a second. Like, wow.
I seen your posts once in a while. You'd be like riding the bike and doing stuff, and it's motivational, man, because like there's like certain people that I follow for certain reasons, and you're one of them for sure, bro, because I've seen you for a long time just plugging away. And like I said, man, I don't know exactly what you're up to, bro, but I know it's a solid purpose, bro. And I'm like, that's right, keep it going, bro. I'm over here in my lane, like,
that's cool. Me too.
Like, bro, so that's really cool to see, man. And now you're doing this, bro. This is amazing. This is really, really amazing,
I'm hoping this will turn into something, That's the goal.
Most definitely.
It will.
It's something already. Like, this is something for sure, man. just gonna have to get those sponsors up as soon as they send you the freaking files. You know what I mean?
That's like the next step, you know. So right now it's been, you know, again, it started out just a small little work of passion, and I figured the way that I could create value was to offer it to other people. And then, so that's why I've been fortunate with the people that I've worked with up to this point to get their podcast going and kind of get them started. Because it's those first steps that are the hardest.
Is there people that you have goals in mind that you would want to work with, like an interview and stuff like that?
So it started out, well, you're one of them, you know.
Thanks, bro. Heck yeah.
You know, because it's people doing it, moving and shaking, you know, and that's the thing. Like, what's your story? And so that's like tapping into that stuff. Like, it's for your kids, it's for whatever motivates you. That's what I want to bring out to people, because then someone will see it, and it's just that one person. If they get that little help that pushes them to the next step, that's the goal of this, you know. Right. And so with me working in hotels and restaurants and stuff, I worked with these people that, like this guy Lars that I work with, I've hiked with, a nice guy, used to be my boss. You know, he did very successful. He's very successful in life. He sold a company, $100 million, did this and that. So I was thinking, like, wow, if I got these people on working in hotels and restaurants, if I interviewed the owners and like the owners of businesses and the people that do stuff, you know. And so that's kind of where it all started.
Pick their brain a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
Get it on record and study it.
Yeah, because I always have these amazing conversations, and it's like, you know, we'll talk about things, and it's like worlds are colliding and shit's
in the service industry, right? You're in the service industry?
Yeah.
Right, man. And they're in a whole different mindset, and they're open at that point, right?
Yeah. So but it applies to anything, though. Like, even so, that's what it expanded. It started out just that. I was like, well, if I just I was going to do, so I have a Greater Palm Springs podcast that I started. I haven't posted anything on it, but I have Greater Palm Springs.
Badass.
And I want to start to do that to promote. And so my thinking was like, Palm Springs life is great, but they're kind of unapproachable in my personal opinion. It's not really for the masses. It's for that niche. So I wanted to create something that was for a different group of masses, you know, like just people. It's more approachable, like not so refined. And I don't know, not that it's bad. It's just, to me, it's not something that a lot of people would watch.
I'd watch it.
Yeah.
I'd watch it, bro.
Palm Springs, you know, Palm Springs Life is, I'm saying like Palm Springs Life, you know, like that one, just that magazine, that brand, you know, that stuff. So I wanted to just create something.
Oh, that's right, the magazine. I'm just thinking about like Life in Palm Springs. Yeah. I keep forgetting about the magazine.
But so I was saying like they're cool. They're really cool. They do well. They're very expensive to advertise on. And so I was just thinking like, what's for the masses? How can I get, you know, because it's like $15,000 to have their, like as a restaurant, to be featured in their books that they send out.
Like
a
full page?
Yeah, they do an article on you and stuff. And it's like $15,000. And it's like, who can afford that? Well, the people that pay it can, and that's fine. But I wanted to create something else that, you know, you don't have to pay $15,000. You just come.
What would be like a more ideal like price range, like?
I don't even know. I mean, they offer a lot of value. That's the thing. Yeah. So it depends too. Like, this is more like a grassroots kind of thing for me. I just want to, you know, get to talk to people.
My bad.
It's all right. And just figure out the stories and stuff. So again, I just wanted to create something that was.
Dude, I think that's really cool, man. Because like, there's so much out here, like you were saying, especially in the art world.
Yeah.
All these artists out here, man, they're plugging away, and I think that there's a lot on the rise too. You know, especially like you know, Pete over there at Flat Black. He's brought in like a lot for like for the youth to get involved with and to be inspired by. Because I know growing up out here, there was like nothing to inspire you as far as like your abilities and stuff like that. They were pushing the school stuff, and you know, you got COD, you could shoot for that, or like if you were actually able to get a hold of something else, you know, you can get out of here and be inspired outside of the Coachella Valley. But there's like so much nowadays, like with the art world and stuff like that, that you can really get a lot of different inspiration, not just realism. Yeah, you know, like I feel like especially with the tattooing, I was just pushed towards realism. Like, oh man, it's got to be real looking, like, or you're gonna do traditional. It's like one or the other.
Yeah,
like, man, what about all these other styles?
Yeah, what about the other stuff,
bro?
Yeah.
There's so much cool stuff out there, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and I think we're missing out on a lot of that stuff out here. So that'd be a cool avenue. Do you remember that magazine, You're From Where magazine?
Yeah,
that was a cool magazine.
Yeah,
I feel like they were bringing a lot back in that day, but
yeah, just stuff like that.
Hard to stay focused, man, when you're in the party scene, though, bro. Like, that's a lot, drinking and being around like a lot of that stuff, man. But I think nowadays it's kind of switched up. Like, there's a lot of the healthier stuff being pushed out there now, you know, like a lot of healthy lifestyle stuff is real popular now. So
sober, the mocktails and stuff like
that's mocktails, California big. Sober,
NA. Yeah, it's really cool. It's good. I mean, I used to party and drink a lot, and like I said, I haven't really been drinking lately. But
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's just trying to be productive, and that doesn't help when you're all hungover.
I know, man. I know. I was making a joke the other day. I was all like, "Yeah, I'll get hungover just to have a Bloody Mary because I like Bloody Marys."
Yeah,
but, yeah. I get hungover so easy, dude. Like I could have like one beer and be sleep in my car.
That's good though. It's a blessing. That started to happen to me. I'm like, I would have a drink and then all of a sudden I got a headache in an hour, and I'm like, wait a minute.
They call you a cheap date.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's me.
Because they say like certain types of people, your body chemistry, like you have to keep drinking more to keep that that feeling.
I don't think that I have to drink that much because like I know if I drink like half of a Corona, dude, I'm pretty good. Like,
you can feel it.
Yeah, I can feel it. And then like 20 minutes later, I'll just be crashed out, dude. Like I get really sleepy and usually the first one out. Yeah. So smoking's always been a little bit better for me.
That's not a bad thing though.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
So you said you were gonna go in the mountains. What were you gonna do?
In the mountains. What was I saying?
For you and your son?
Oh, I was gonna go to Big Bear. Take him to the snow,
nice.
dude. Yeah. Got him a little snowboard for Christmas, so I want to take him up there. But I gotta take him to like the slope, and man, it's gonna be rough, bro. I haven't been down the mountain in a long time. And like nowadays it hurts, bro. If I fall, bro, it takes a while. I'm like, oh, that didn't hurt too bad, and then the next day it's like, oh wow, that's sore. I'm like, wow, man.
Yeah.
So, probably go do something up there. Need to get out, man. Like being cooped up in the house for at least a good week or two now. I like to go fishing, at least hit the lakes, do some of that. Trying to get out deep sea fishing. But
that's fun. I did that.
Slow season right now.
I got to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You catch tuna?
Yeah. I did it out of San Diego.
Yeah, dude.
It was cool. Yeah, it was like a 3-day crazy thing. I'm like, I'm gonna go. What's one day? We'll go for 3, and it was cool.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I was like, because I was back then, I was drinking. I'm like, I've been training for this because the boat's rocking. Like
you're like, oh, I got sea legs.
Yeah,
for sure.
But yeah, that stuff's good, and it's a great place. No, I didn't.
No,
I didn't.
Nice.
Yeah, luckily.
Yeah, I got seasick, or my son got seasick. I was worried about getting seasick, and then I figured out I was in the clear because I looked over and he was throwing up out the side of the boat, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I'm not gonna get seasick." Like, let me help him out.
Yeah, he's got it.
He was down for the count, dude.
Did you try to take anything?
Yeah, apparently you got to take the sickness medicine like a week before or like a couple days before. That way, it's already in your system.
Yeah.
Because if you try to take it at that point, you're just throwing it all
too
up,
late.
and it's too late. Man. So.
Yeah, I was when I went. There was a couple people that got sick.
Yeah, it's a bummer. He was the only one, man. He was the only one that got sick, and I was like, well. He kept fishing, bro. I got to give it to him, man. He just kept fishing, bro. And he caught tuna, just throwing up the whole time. Just, reeling it in. I was like, okay, man.
That's good.
Yeah. So
awesome.
I kept thinking, I was like, I don't know if I would have done that good. If I was that sick, I probably would have just been down underneath. Just
wanted to curl it
out. Yeah, dude.
That's cool.
Down.
That's good.
So I give him a lot of respect, man. He pushed through. He made it through that pretty good. But, yeah.
It's in the blood.
Yeah, it's got to be, bro.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I was younger. I'm not old.
That's right.
I was doing construction, doing concrete with my dad and his buddy. We were doing this job, and I was all hungover and shit. And I remember like I was troweling, and I was like, bleh, I threw up, and then I kept going. And his boss, his buddy was like, "That's a man."
Yeah,
and I remember like that always stuck with me. I was like 15, 16.
That's what they say, bro. It's like you're going to be a boy or a man, and it's going to show out there, man.
Yeah.
Like some grown man could have been down underneath, like I said.
Yeah, called off that day, but I
would have called off, bro. I would have called off, like, dude, I can't.
That's funny.
Yeah, even lately, my kids have been sick, and I've been like, man, like, I got to give it to you guys. You guys don't look sick. Like, you're doing pretty good. When I'm sick, bro, it's like, dude, I swear, I'm, like, dying.
Yeah, that's how I am, too.
Or I died 3 times.
Tough it out, and then I'm just like, oh, leave me alone.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you like to do? You like to take medicines, or like you go on that holistic route, or what?
I try not to take medicine.
Yeah.
Unless, I'm not really that guy. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but for me, I don't really take anything.
I'm popping it, man. Boom, boom, boom.
But I'm hardly ever sick, so I mean, for me, I'm just like, And luckily, if I do get sick, I'll be dead or dying for a couple days, and then I'm over it. But I go right into my regimen, like I'm sweating. I wrap up, I'm
try to just get it
Vicks,
out real quick.
Whatever,
Right, yeah.
Just anything I can do, boom, just trying to get over it.
That's the best way, man. Just get it going. Because your body's heating up for a reason, right? You just don't want it to heat up too much.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can kind of keep it in that balance and let it kind of fight it off, I think the same thing, bro. I just bundle up and sweat it out.
Yeah. And I was looking it up, like, because you have to have like 106 or more for it to be dangerous, I think, like for extended times. You can't really, like, you don't want to get too crazy, but a lot of people get nervous at like, oh, it's 101, 102. And if for kids, you want to be careful for sure, but it is part of the natural process, so
I didn't know that it was that small of an area of temperature that we're allowed to actually fluctuate between, dude. I was like, what? It's like
it's crazy.
A couple of degrees, bro, and you might die.
Yeah.
Dang.
I saw, and then just recently, because I was always like, it's not the germs that make you sick. Or no, it's not the cold, because they'd be like, cover up, you're going to get sick, right? And my parents would be like, it's not that, it's the germs. If I don't have the germs, then I won't get sick. But then I found out somewhere, I forget what it was, but I guess the surface of the tissue in your lungs cools by breathing cold air. And so when you breathe it in...
Pneumonia? Is that pneumonia?
No, just any cold or anything. And that's kind of how you contract it, because it goes in through your eyes, nose, throat, like through an opening. And then when you breathe it in, like if you're breathing cold air, the surface temperature of your lung tissue cools. And so that's when it gets in and it can grow, because at that high temperature, it can't survive. 98.6 or above, it kills it off.
Oh.
So that's kind of how people get sick. And I was like, oh, wow, I never thought about that. Like, if you're breathing cold air, it's going to drop the temperature of your lung tissue.
Wow.
And so in your throat or whatever, like your mouth.
Bro, I'm wearing a face mask everywhere I go now.
And that's why they're like, cover up. And I'm like, what? Like, I never really thought about it. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, every time that I have something on my face and I'm sweating and or if I'm in the cold and I got something on my face, I feel good, man. I'll start kind of sweating and it warms up and it makes sense.
Yeah, because that's part of the natural process. Like, we're supposed to breathe through our nose. That helps to regulate the temperature.
Right.
Because it goes through that system.
Right. Dude, I was up in Alaska for a while, man, and I had to deal with that cold for a little bit, dude. And, man, I'm from the desert, so I don't have any kind of, like, instinct when it comes to cold. Man, I'm just kind of looking around and following stuff, and there's people out there, bro, that just be walking in the snow. Like, no sweater, T-shirt. Like,
it's that brown fat.
Yeah.
There's two fats, white fat and brown fat. And white fat is just fat storage, like cells, and then brown fat is like for insulation.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about brown fat like the Samoans. Like,
no.
Yeah, shit, bro.
but it's true. I found that out too. I'm like, I'm full of all kinds of useless information. But
no, that's good
I
stuff,
thought that
bro.
was cool. I was like, well, brown fat, because I used to be running around in the mountains hiking all the time, and I'd be out there in like, wife beater and shorts, and it's the winter. And I'm like, let's go. And people would be like, well, aren't you cold? And I'm like, no.
Dang.
Not really. But you have to condition yourself for that. So that's like those people that, they live in Alaska and they're out there just in their boxers and shit.
Walking through it, just white tank top on, dude. I remember seeing some girl out there. She was just kind of going like this. And I think it was like probably 15 degrees out.
It's cold.
I know it was cold that day.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, what is she doing out here?
It's just normal.
Yeah, it's just normal, man. Yeah, they're a whole different kind of people up there.
How was Alaska? What'd you do out there? Why'd you go out there?
I just went out there because I was busy. I went and tattooed at a friend's shop up there, and I just stayed booked out, so I just kept going back.
That's
and
cool.
Then, tattoo is such a rough industry, bro. I ended up just kind of splitting from that shop and opening up my own, and just kept going back, yeah. But then the family thing just pulled me back right here. So, yeah.
How many kids you got now?
I made 2 and I got 4.
Nice.
Yeah. So, it's a whole thing being a step parent, man. It's kind of crazy, Like you have this natural instinct as like a biological parent, and then you have this other part that you have to kind of like keep up with. So it's like balancing act on its own, dude. That stuff is kind of cool. But
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I got 4 of them, man, and they love to eat, bro. Right now it's at this stage, bro, where they're all eating so much. I'm like, dang, I'm spending so
where
much
did
money
it go?
on food, dude. Like, oh man, but it's good, dude. Like, we're gonna have more cookouts, and that's why we're gonna get out into the ocean, catch a tuna, hopefully feed us for a week.
Yeah. Start hunting and shit.
Start hunting. Like, right. This is the way to go, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they're on that stuff, bro. Like, my oldest, he's 15, and he just wants to catch tuna. Like, I'm amazed by how much this kid knows off of just watching YouTube videos, bro. Like, YouTube videos are pretty educational. Like, we went out, caught a charter for the first time, me and him both, and he was pretty up to par on everything. He knew all the knots. He knew what kind of line he needed, like just chopping it up with the deckhands. I was like, dude, this is crazy.
That's cool.
I'm used to trout, bro, and bass and stuff. Like, I'll fish trout all day, but Man, deep sea tuna, that was a whole nother fish, bro.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
crazy how
whole
they do it. They
thing,
chase
dude.
the kelp patties, and like there's guys with binoculars and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
I was
and
like,
they
what's
got
happening?
they got like a whole squad of guys who were just looking out for this boil that's happening, and
Yeah,
I had no idea about it, man. Like, and even after that, bro, I started watching the lakes because we went to like the lake to go fishing, and you could see the fish jumping. So I rented a boat, bro, and we would start chasing them, bro. We were catching on, dude.
That's
like,
cool.
It was just like tuna fishing. I was like, this is badass, man. So
Yeah,
we're all sprung on that right now. He's making lures. I got him plugging away with like a little kit so he can fly his own or tie his own fly hooks and stuff like that. We can fly fishing, and yeah, it's pretty cool, man.
hell yeah,
Yeah, trying to get out more.
yeah, for
At
sure.
least stay out of the dumb stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
there's so much like influences I feel like that I have to compete with as a parent, bro. It's kind of crazy. You know, like between social media and video games and even YouTube, bro. Like my kids will hop on YouTube, bro, and YouTube just feeds them.
yeah, it's
videos.
tough.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Guard the
bro.
gates of your mind, right?
Yeah, it's nuts, man. Trying to direct them. I'm like, hey, why don't you guys watch something about how to build something? And they're like, okay. And then I'm like, all right, never mind. Like, let's go build something.
Yeah.
So I have to like take them in the garage and be getting them onto something, and then we'll pull up videos on how to do it. So they go right back into like watching their videos and stuff. But at least I'm planting a seed so that later, once they do fry out on whatever they're doing, they'll be like, oh wait, no, Dad, like he showed me this other way to do
Yeah.
it. Like, let me do this.
They see that there's a difference. You're either consuming or creating. You know, that's what I tell my kids. I'm like, you need to create something. Like, don't sit there and watch. Just go make something.
Yeah,
you know?
you gotta make something, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes they gotta get inspired because I don't know what it is. Like, I could tell them go outside and they'll just go sit out there, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, it's bad. Like sometimes they don't even know what to do. Like, the video games are cool, but I think it takes that creative
You don't
outlet,
have to
bro.
think about anything. It's already
Yeah.
invented for you. you know?
Yeah, yeah. So now my kid wants to make video games. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, let's go check out some stuff. Like, bro, I had no idea how many game cons and stuff are out there. Like, I'm trying to get into some of these game conferences and stuff. Like, some of them are just about building games too.
Yeah.
They're not even like about being a character or nothing.
Or
They're just,
apps. Now it's a lot of apps too.
Mhm.
That's the way
Yeah.
to go. That's good. You just show them the door.
Yeah.
I think because it's so easy now. Like you were saying, it's just people just consume content all day, and you got to think like there's a whole other side. It's like I forget the stats. I was watching something. It's like 1 or 2% of the people create the rest of the content that's consumed. It's a small percentage.
Is it really?
It's kind of like you with tattoos, right? Like it comes out of your brain, boom, your hand makes it, and then you gotta don't keep ringing. But you're creating something, you know, and there's only a small percentage. There's only a small percentage of you guys doing all the tattoos in the world. And
in my
everybody.
mind, bro, it's like 90% of the people in the world can tattoo. Like,
Yeah.
That's how it is in my mind. I feel like everybody can tattoo. Like,
But not everybody can do it well.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
That's the thing,
I don't know. Maybe I'm like kind of just so into what I'm doing. I just kind of, I feel like it just comes natural. Like I feel like it's like a tribal thing, like, especially when you kind of see all these people who got tattoos who are like, oh yeah, I just do it myself. And I'm like, man, see, like people who want tattoos will just do it themselves. So it's kind of crazy that I've been in business this long. I've been able to do what I've done, but yeah. Maybe I think somebody said it's imposter syndrome. You start to feel like, oh, like, am I really qualified for this? Like, really?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Like that feeling of like, am I doing it right? Am I, but you're doing it, and that's the difference between 90%. That Pareto's principle. 20% of the people do 80% of the work. So
that's
like,
crazy because that's literally what I'm thinking about you. Like when you're saying that, I'm like, yeah, but you're doing it. Like. That's wild, man. That's like what is that, like a paradox or something like that?
Like, I can't do it till I'm ready. Well, you're ready when you do it.
Wait, what? Dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I feel right now, man. I feel like I'm late on so many things because I've just been tattooing the whole time. But like I've been on this journey to find out more and more, bro, because tattooing is such a big world. And when it comes to tattooing, I don't know about the origins are on tattoos. Like, a lot of stuff. I know the word tattoo comes from tatau, which is why the shop's name is tatau.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, oh, do you do tatau? And I was like, no, I don't. But
is that the like with the sticks?
Yeah, with the sticks.
Yeah,
tatau
traditional.
represents the name or the sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's more.
So I don't know what that is, but I know that that's Polynesian and more so Samoan. And I'm half Samoan, so I figured I would just, use that word instead of tattoo.
Yeah,
you know? Like,
that's really cool.
So I've always had this like deep attraction to tattooing, and when it came time to go and get a job or, you know, make a decision at least about what I was going to do for the rest of my life, I was like, well, shoot, tattooing looks cool. Like, my friends were all getting tattooed. I was already kind of tattooing myself and making tattoo machines, like, as bad as that sounds. But
yeah, you got to start somewhere.
That's
right?
how we started, bro. Like, so I was like, well, shoot, I'm already doing it. Why not go, like, the professional route? So I ended up doing that, and now I'm in this whole, like, it's almost like part of, like, a spiritual journey, man, because regardless of the financial aspect, like, it's like a healing for not only the person that's getting tattooed, but like the craft and the artwork side of it, and learning about a better way to tattoo so that I can offer a better service is like part of my spiritual thing in a weird sense, because it is kind of like a exchange of energy or something like that when I'm tattooing people. And every time I tattoo somebody, I'm like, man, like, I feel like I gotta do it the best that anybody's ever seen. Like, and that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself, man. Like, what the heck? Why am I doing that? Like, when in reality, a tattoo is so temporary. I know everybody treats it so permanent, but it's really temporary, because each person's not going to be here except for the, you know, the life, their flesh is only going to be here, you know. So your tattoo is really only going to be here for the amount of time that your flesh is here, unless they do like the Japanese and preserve it. Yeah, but I was going to mention that's badass. That's cool. You know, but I don't know, man. Like, it seems like such a temporary art form, but it's so sacred to each person. It's like, well, don't mess up my tattoo. And back in the day, I would be like so pressured, like, okay, no, I won't, man, I won't. And then we're both super content with the outcome. But now looking back, it's like, bro, what was I doing? Like, that was a terrible tattoo. Like, we both were like, woo, we did it. We did it. It's an investment, right? You're like, so I don't feel like it's changed, man. I keep this like high regard to each person and skin that I'm tattooing, bro. And it's like, as a business, bro, it's super bad, because I'm lost in this thing of service. And it's not good for making money. You know, people want to just crank them out. Bah, 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 bah. Tattoos making money. But yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. I don't like high pace or high turnover. You know what I mean? Yeah, if I was a restaurant, bro, I'd be fine dining, bro. Yeah, like, for sure. You're going to be here for a couple hours. Settle in, you know? Settle in, bro. You got the table for the night. It's an experience. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. But that's what makes the difference, you know. There's so many out there that are not like that, you know. Yeah. And that pressure you put on yourself is what makes you try to be.
I think so. Good. But I think it's toxic, man. I think it's toxic for myself. So I have now my artwork that I'm trying to do to help release that steam. So I'll do artwork in the sense, there's like, I think some people face it, there's like a voice in your head, and you will either beat yourself up or encourage yourself. Mm-hmm. So it's either an ego or like a trauma, right? Yeah. Like, so
it's the words, I think. Right. And like they say I've heard somewhere, like with Olympians, they don't say I'm nervous, they say I'm excited. Or, you know, like it's the same feeling, you know, like I'm words, like on the way here, like, oh God, I'm anxious. Oh my God. But no, I was excited to come and do this, you know, this is it, excited. You know, so I think it's the words that affect, because, you know, the words mean something, and whatever it is, if blue is red, you don't know the difference. Like there's that thought process, right? Like it just means whatever. Because we were talking about this. I was saying about God. I'm not religious, but I'm exploring, right? And I was like, well, God is a different word in different countries, in different languages, you know, but it's the same meaning. So I'm like, really, what does a word have? Right. You know, so going into that, like, I think that's the same thing with anxious, depressed, sad, excited. Like, you know, if you use it in a negative context, then it's going to manifest negatively. But if you're looking at it like, I'm excited, I'm excited to be alive, I'm excited. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, if you think like, oh shit, I woke up today, woo, you know, but if you're like, I'm pumped, you know, if you go the other way, then it's a rough day, you know. And I try to just do that every morning, like, all right, I'm up.
That's what I think I'm trying to do too, is just keep that in a positive way. I don't know how to do it all the time, man. It's tough. It's pretty tough sometimes.
It's never, you know, you got to self-correct. I think for me, the big helper was just like accepting responsibility. Like, if I'm ever mad, it's at me, and I'm like, I can't be too hard on myself.
That's a big one, dude. That's a big one, bro. I'm trying to soak that one up too. Like, and remind myself like, no, you're not mad at anything else right now except for yourself. So don't take it out on anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's hard. I do that with my family because I'm like, I'll get off like work and stuff, like texting, calling, and I'm like, and I'll be like mad, and then I'm like, and then I'm like, oh wait, it's not you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not you. I'll be mad at the goat, bro. Like, fucking goat. Like,
damn it.
Yeah. The goat's just looking at me chewing the grass. Yeah. I'm like, bro, like, why did you do all this? Like, but yeah, man, that spiritual stuff is real. I don't know what's going on out here, but it's real, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with the old texts and stuff like this, like the most common thing that's like passed down and the grain that they want to portray the most, I think, is just, you know, love and to avoid the hate.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it, man.
Yeah, and they're all similar. Like every book, every religion, it seems, from what, I'm not an expert, but they seem pretty similar. Like, do unto others.
Right.
You know, treat them how you want to be treated. Which
is weird, though, because, like, you were talking about the blue and the red, right? Like, were you referring to the fact that maybe, like, my blue might be your red, but we both call it the same because it's just what... Okay,
exactly.
So, with that being said, like, what if somebody's good is like something terrible?
That's true.
That's where it's like, what the hell?
So for me, like with religion, I was like, well, because I wasn't always the nice guy I am now, you know, and so I had those challenges that I had to overcome, and I always said, like, well, if there is a God or a creator, he would understand because he made me.
Right.
And you know, if it's just in your intention. So I broke it down. I was going to start DeLeon as my own religion. I'm like, because it's in your intention, right? If I'm stealing to eat or to feed my kids, am I really evil? Or if I'm stealing just out of malice and like, I have to have it, then that's could be, you know, considered evil. So it's like you said, like, it's really up to the intentions, I think.
Maybe that's why a lot of Native Americans will have, or not even just Native Americans, but just indigenous people have so many, like, what is that? Like, if you kill an animal and you give thanks, even if it's in your mind as you're speaking it to yourself while you're doing the dressings or whatever, like, maybe that's why.
Yeah, it kind of makes up for it. Not to make up for it, but to show that you recognize that you know, this isn't the best for you, but it's what... I don't know how that would work, but however you justify it.
Death is crazy. I recently just had my goat die in my arms, bro, and it was like the first time that I actually had something die in my arms, and I was like, wow, this is kind of crazy to watch and feel like life leave that body. And it was just like, wow, that's intense. Like, and I couldn't help but to think about, like, a human being, you know. Recently my dad passed away and I wasn't there, and I've never wanted to be like within the certain area of somebody dying. Like, I've had other people that were in their deathbed, you know, and I was like, well, I'll be in the area, like, let me go to the park and I'll be there. And I just knew, you know, you just know something's happening over there. But yeah, that whole moment where something leaves like this realm or whatever's going on, that transition, that's major, dude. Like, that's major. I don't know what that is, bro, but that shit was intense.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So I want to be, I don't know if I can be prepared. I don't know if you can prepare yourself for that, but I want to be prepared for that.
Yeah, as prepared as possible, right?
Right, bro. Yeah. They say your life flashes before your eyes. So every time I do something, I'm hoping to do it with, like you said, the best of intent, especially the work that I'm doing. Because right now in this life, like, people, it seems like a big topic. Like, look at even like Kanye's going on to this topic about being a slave, and like, you don't actually get to live your life. Like, we have these opportunities, and they make it seem like this is like the land of freedom and opportunity, but really, bro, I just want to wake up, go fish for my family, build a shelter, and like provide for my family. And granted, that comes with all kinds of stuff, because they can bring up this whole thing about, well, what about your medical, and what about this, whatever. So yeah, I am grateful for all this stuff. I'm grateful, and I'm willing to work towards all of that. So I'm not gonna complain about it, but like, you still get kind of like restricted to this financial game and stuff like that. It's like, man, I just want to go fish, or I just want to go
simple things,
yeah. But I think I just want to do everything with the best of intent, so that when I die and my life flashes before my eyes, that hopefully it's dope as fuck.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Build the episode.
Yeah, bro. Like, to me, that's it. Like, and that's gonna be a solo thing, you know. Nobody's going with you on that one, bro. Like, nobody's gonna really be holding your hand, because it's all gonna be somewhere else. Like, I've seen people like holding somebody's hands and like seeing them out, so to speak, but really, like, you could see it in certain moments of pain and anguish, bro. Like, they weren't feeling their hands, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be alone on that one, bro. You know what I mean?
You
Especially after seeing my goat, bro. I was like, yeah, this is
a trip. I had that with my dog. I had a dog after that was given to me, but my dog, I had it for a while, and it was put to sleep. She was put to sleep in my hands. And so I had that experience too of like watching that, and it's really like I was attached, like, oh man. And my dog got run over by this idiot, flying down the street in the middle of nowhere. Damn. And they couldn't save her. They would have had to reconstruct her whole rear end and stuff. So that moment, like I resonate with that. Yeah, I was at the vet. I took her to the vet, like, save her. And they were like, yeah, we have to put her, she's going to have wheels. There, we can't save her. Those dogs that have little apparatus.
Yeah, the little,
that would have been her, and she's a pit bull, and I'm like, she can't. She loves to run. Like, I can't do that to her. So I ended up putting her down, and like her head was in my hand, and I watched her like shut off, So that, like, I had that experience too, and it's a trip. So with your goat, like.
Right.
I understand.
Yeah, I know. And like, to me, like, it sounds kind of funny hearing like goat, because like I really wasn't that connected to my goat. But then at that moment, I think I gained a huge connection with it. I was like, dang, like, I was like talking to her, and I cried for her, and I was just really excited about that. I guess, like, it was just a big moment. I was like, what the heck? I remember sitting there thinking to myself, like, almost an outer body experience, like looking at myself like, dude, you're crying for a goat. And I was just like, but bro, this is like a fucking living being right here.
Yeah.
Like, this is insane.
It's important.
But yeah, all those little micro seconds that pass by of like, well, what if this was a person, or what if this is me? Like, what if this, all this stuff? Yeah.
It kind of comes full circle, when you think about it, like, wow. Yeah. And it's scary, you lost your dad too. Like, my dad had a heart attack like a couple months ago, and it, scary, like memento mori, Yeah.
In some cultures, they don't mourn death; they're celebrated. Like, so yeah, man, I'm kind of on the same page as you. Yeah. Like, I want to learn about all kinds of stuff, bro. I'm fascinated by that. What was the word you said earlier?
Memento mori?
No.
Or which one?
The stuff that you're studying that you like.
Oh, Stoicism.
Stoic.
Stoic philosophy.
What is that word? What is that?
Stoic. I don't know. It comes from the Greek days, I guess, or
Greek?
Romans.
Memento
back in the
mori,
day.
I think that's
Alexander the Great. Yeah, right? Yeah, memento mori. Yeah, so it's in Latin, I think, right?
Yeah.
And it's death is certain. So basically, like, it's a little quote.
Like, only death is certain. Huh?
Yeah, and that's kind of how you have to live your life. Like, if you live your life every day with intention and
right. I think that's major, bro. I think it really is. Even in the tattooing industry, well, not even the industry, just like the Samoan tattoo artists back in the day. They used to actually not be considered royalty, but, they were housed by the royalty. So, like, the royal families would at least have them, well taken care of. Like, hey, look after him, because he's doing
Give him
stuff
a little
for
wing.
us.
Yeah, that's your
make sure
wing.
He eats well.
Yeah.
So I always think about that. Like, man, I do have a solid task at hand. So and I trip out because what if you get to the next level of existence, bro, and you have all these tattoos?
That'd be cool.
Like, oh shit, I fucking knew it. I knew it, bro.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's what I think about sometimes, man. And I think for anybody who's tattooing or doing any kind of craft or artistry, I don't know what to say, because I want to involve everybody, bro, that just commits their mind to stuff. Like you, bro. Like, I don't know. I think you're an artist, bro. Like, a good friend of mine that I tattooed a long time ago, and we tattooed a lot of his body, bro. And he became an artist himself, but he always said, like, he doesn't consider what he does in art, but he still considers himself an artist, because, like, life is an art, and everything that he does has to have some kind of artistic vision. Yeah. And ever since then, I was like, yeah, you're kind of right, man. Like, you can't really exclude anybody, bro, because some people just have a vision. Some people have a ability.
Yeah,
it all
they bring something to the table.
Yeah, dude.
Their little contribution is important.
Right. I think it's dope, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, it's like I always laugh because people are like, you watch sports? And I'm like, no, work is my sport. Like, And in the restaurants and busy shit's going on, and the
Right.
game running plays and like we need the quarterback. So I always break things down to sports analogies, and I don't watch sports. I'm like,
But you see the numbers flying across the screen. You're probably hearing it all. 20 TVs in the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
dude.
how I break it all down. Like, all right,
Yeah.
they're going over there like a general, like you're running the war.
That was like Lil Wayne. He said, bro, he's all like, I just watch all the numbers on the screen, bro. And he said he learned a lot that way.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, that's pretty good. So now I would do the same thing, bro. Like when I was working at Beer Hunter, I think you were working at Cathedral City Beer Hunter, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And I worked at that one, and I worked in the one in La Quinta. But
Yeah.
the one in La Quinta, I was actually in the front of the house, so I got to actually kick it by all those TVs and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'd never been into sports either, and I just watched the numbers and stuff after that. And I was like, that's a good idea. At least you're learning something.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Getting some kind of understanding
yeah.
how it works.
Kept
I always
me-
laugh.
Yeah, it kept me up to what's going on.
Yeah.
But I don't understand what's going on, man, when I see the sports, bro. I try to get into it, but then I'll watch the coaches call plays and I get pissed.
I start sidetracking. I'm like looking at this and it's just
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm like, eh.
I think they call it ADHD.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I don't have the attention span. I'm like,
You
look at
just
that
throw some
guy's hat.
paint on.
Look
Yeah.
at what's he wearing? What's he doing? Who's that? I'm
Looking
looking
at the color
sidelines.
coordinations.
Yeah.
Man, I like that orange over there, bro. Yeah, yeah, I'm on the same one, dude.
But yeah. So, what do you got coming up? You got any plans for this
Mm.
year? Or just cranking
My
along?
son, like I said, he's doing some fishing stuff. I'm trying to get him into the charters for this next coming season, so I'll be plugging away, saving up some money for that. As far as like my own stuff, I don't really have anything big going on. I'm doing like a lot more heavy black, so I'm working on getting this new badass machine from Russia, from these guys from Abusive Tattoo. They're pretty badass company out there in Russia, and they make like this 112 mag needle, so it's a pretty badass tattoo needle. Looking to get that this year, so maybe see some more heavy black coming out, but
That's cool.
that's about it. I've been doing a lot of heavy black for a while, but I've just been kind of focusing on projecting the stuff that I want to do. I'm kind of in a weird part in Morongo Valley, so we're like on the way to Joshua Tree, but everybody's going pretty quick. Like I kind of have to use the platforms to my advantage at that point, so we don't have a lot of walk-in. So I'm just kind of doodling and kind of finding out like which tattooing I like to do more,
Yeah.
I guess, at this point. So I know I like black and gray. Trying to kick color out because I gotta think way too much with color. Like even when I use color markers, bro, I'm just envisioning black and gray. So I'm finding out I'm just a black and gray guy.
Yeah,
like,
that's good.
yeah. So I'm gonna stick to that stuff and then kick away colors. So I think I got like 4 colors in my thing now. So, but yeah, got a couple kids who are homeschooling right now, so that's busy.
How's
Super
that?
busy, bro? It's nuts. It's really, really crazy because we wake up, we gotta, get them on their homework, and then they're done in like an hour, bro. Like these guys are smart. They're like ahead of their school. I'm like, bro, you guys could be in college. Like, actually, my 15-year-old's starting some college, I think a college course. I'm like, bro, this guy's like Doogie Howser.
That's fucking awesome.
It's insane, bro. It's insane. So I'm just trying to invest as much as I can into them, and really with them is I really don't know what I'm doing, bro. Like I've been telling everybody lately, like it sounds funny, but it's my first time on Earth, dog. Like I don't know what the fuck's going on out here, bro. Like I'm progressing. Like I'm 37. I'm almost 40. I'm like, wait. Every day I wake up, like, what the fuck? I feel like I just popped up at 37, from, like,
Right?
18,
Yeah.
and I got all these memories. Like, what the fuck? I don't even know what I did. I just been tattooing and plugging away at that. Yeah, this last 10 years, the kids have just been. I'm like, oh man, their voices are changing. I'm like, bro, stop making your voice sound like that. And they're like what? I'm like, damn, dude, like. Oh man, they're gonna outsmart me. They're gonna figure out soon I'm a fraud. Like,
Right.
bro, my
I've been
kids,
faking it.
Yeah, I've been faking it, guys. I have no idea what's going on. Like, so I try to get them involved in stuff. Right now, my kid's in soccer. He's gonna be starting that up pretty soon. And then I think baseball, soccer and then baseball. My other kid loves airsoft, so I'm gonna try to take him out to San Diego more to some of these airsofting stuff and fishing. Trying to get it all into one, like, and calculate the stops along the way. So that we
just
hit
try to
everything
plan
all
out
at
the
once.
year, whatever. Yeah. Shit, we got to do some fishing or something. My dad's always like, I want to go fishing.
Yeah.
We got to make a trip.
We hit up San Diego a lot. We just go out to Shelter Island, and they got a couple cool spots. And if you park in the parking lot, you can catch a charter the next day. Sometimes they got open spots, and they'll let you just jump on the boats. So we have yet to do that, man. But I'm thinking this next summer, I want to do like a fishing trip, dude, and go out to Colorado. I got my buddy Vower out there in Colorado Springs or wherever the college is out there.
Who is it?
Vower.
Bauer. Oh, yeah. Because I was going to mention my friend Anthony Bauer.
Bauer, yeah. No,
I was like, he goes deep sea fishing and stuff. Yeah, he's in Alaska right now.
He's heavy into it. Yeah,
yeah.
My buddy Aaron paints a lot of his Airbnbs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an amazing artist, bro. He does some crazy next level stuff, dude. But, probably try to get some fishing in. Nothing crazy. I'm actually I take notes from Aaron a lot of times. I'll kind of hit him up on things and. A lot of the stuff that I'm doing for my store and my shop that has to do with any kind of painting, I just hit him up and ask him questions. I painted a couple cool stuff for like a bar and grill in town, Morongo Valley Monument Bar and Grill.
Okay.
And yeah, he helped me lay down the base of the fade for like the background of the sky and the mountains. And dude, nailed the color, bro. Like when you drive past at a certain time of day when the sun's setting, bro. If you look at it, it's the same exact colors. I was like, cool. Dude, this motherfucker just nailed it. And every time I bring it up, he's like, yeah, I already had the colors. I was like, yeah, but you still had to make them before this project. So, I don't know. He's just really good, bro. It's a really good guy to know. But
that's cool.
Yeah, man. I've been fortunate, bro, along the way.
Yeah.
But nothing too exciting, bro. Just a lot of black tattooing and investing into the future. Just these kids, bro. That's it. Yeah.
Just good.
Yeah.
It's a good task. Yeah, keep it coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get some tattoos. Oh, it's time again. I had a guy that did mine a long time ago. Yeah, I have some old stuff, but he ended up going to prison. And I haven't seen him since, But that again, it's that
I'm
connection.
Sure he's fine. I'm sure he's okay in there.
Yeah. But you have to have that connection with your tattoo artist, I think. And so I think I found my guy.
Hey, my man. Heck yeah, bro. Whenever you're ready. There's a couple of amazing tattoo artists out here too, bro. There's a lot of great tattooers out here.
Yeah.
That's why it was hard coming home. I was like, man, Alaska was super busy, and I was making a good living. I was able to do a lot for my family, but I was away so much, bro. And I was like starting to feel it. So I was like, I just left there one day. I didn't know how to close it. I didn't know how to. I'm way too emotionally attached to tattooing, bro. And I think that's like a blessing and a curse, because I do care about the whole process, and like on a spiritual level, I'm just like way too invested, bro. But I was so emotionally attached, bro. I couldn't even fathom like letting go of the shop. So just one day, I just never went back and just let them auction off all the stuff. Yeah, pay the bills later. Like, don't worry about it. But
I always try to look at things like you're expanding. You're not leaving,
right?
Because you still have those connections there. That
Yeah.
So
I still know a bunch of people up there, bro, and I still the people I met there were like amazing, bro. Like some of the best people I've met, and just some, but up there you're not losing anything. The material stuff you can't take with you anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right. All that connections are made, bro, and they're there.
You can always go back and do it again.
Right. It's just. Not in the fucking winter.
Yeah, right. It's crazy out there. So my dad has a friend from Alaska, and she just had to go up there because there was like 6 feet of snow on her roof or something. They had to scrape it off before it starts to melt. So I'm like, damn, I can't even imagine.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
Being a homeowner, man, it's a lot, dude.
She's like, there's bears walking around, and she's like, I got my 45 or something. And she's this tiny little lady, and it's just like, we just have this because you never know,
Dude, that's the first time that I ever met somebody with a big old bear gun on them, bro.
Yeah.
I was like freaked out.
What the hell
I was
is
like,
that?
Dog, this fool got a fucking cannon on his fucking head, dude.
Because you never know. It could be anything.
Yeah, there's
bear,
fucking
moose.
real shit out there, dude.
Yeah.
I took my son fishing, and I thought it was super chill, and he wanted to stay up all night long. He's like, let's just stay up all night because, the sun's up all night.
Yeah.
I was like, for sure. Like, but if we do it, you got to stay up all night. He's like, all right, yeah. And, like, I'm fishing, and it's like 2, 3 in the morning, and this guy disappears into like these forests, these stuff that's behind us. I'm like, this guy, bro, and I keep looking back, and he's not coming out. I'm like, I bet you he took a nap. And sure as fuck this kid took a nap, bro, in the fucking tree. I was just like, bro, like, you know, there's bears and shit. Like, literally, there was a bear and her mom, like a Kodiak or a, what was that, grizzly.
Yeah.
I was like,
down the river.
Yeah, literally across the river. I was like, bro, you know, you saw the bear, bro. Like, why are you sleeping in the woods? He's just like, I'm tired. And I was like, man, never again, bro. Never again.
Oh, he's comfortable.
Yeah.
He's just growing up. It's just natural to him, you know? Like, that's the cool thing.
Naive, bro. Like, shoot, imagine waking up to a bear sniffing your face.
Right? You're like, what the fuck is that?
Oh my God, you just piss yourself like, dude.
Yeah, that would be creepy.
Yeah. I was walking through the woods with a buddy of mine one time, and I don't know, I just looked up and saw a moose, and it had a little baby next to it. And if you know, like, they get super protective around their babies, right? And the moose kind of like ducks her head down and kind of stomps her foot a little bit. I'm like, oh fuck, this happens like just like that. So I look at him, I'm like, hey bro, you want to run? Because I was just gonna keep walking towards the moose and see how close I can get before it starts weaving through the fucking trees, because it's like tree every like 5 feet or so. But no, bro, it was a bad idea. I didn't do it.
Yeah, they get
we
crazy.
Ended up backing up.
I've seen some videos where they're like, hey, look at this. And
dude, I always push my luck like that, though. Like, I don't know why people want to touch them, and I'm one of them. Like, I want to touch the fucking thing. Like, yeah, I don't know why, dude.
Not me, shit. I'm like, no, that's cool.
Have you seen the video? There's a guy, he's like trying to feed the moose or something, and I think the moose is like eating out of his hand. And then he's like, looks back at the camera, and he's like, and he like pets the moose like this and turns around, and the moose just like smacks him.
I think that's the one I think I've seen. It's
yeah.
Yeah, you never know. Like deer and all that shit, I've seen those videos too.
Yeah.
Those things are crazy.
Yeah, dude.
All of a sudden, they're just kicking you.
They just trample you.
Yeah. And that shit's gotta hurt.
You're dancing on your body, bro. You don't want to be a dance floor for a moose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all funny.
Gotta be ready out there.
Until you're getting stomped out by fucking bull eagle.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit out there. Alaska's crazy.
Yeah, I'm about it, bro. You're only here once, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it's what, billions of years? Yeah. It's another thing, bro. Just trying to get that thought out of my mind, bro. You ever think about that? That you're going to be here for just, what, a certain amount of time and then gone forever? Or at least, like, you just don't know what's after this.
Yeah, the unknown.
That's debatable, but...
It's tough. I feel like I've kind of become partial to that, like, where you just kind of recycle. I guess it wouldn't be, I don't know, I don't think like past lives and I can remember, maybe you can, but just I think like energy, because they say it never dissipates, it just changes form. So I feel like we just
can't be destroyed, yeah.
We just keep cycling through. And I heard that somewhere and I liked it. And it was like, you keep going till you like.
But how long until you're a freaking human again?
Yeah, you never know, right? You never know. Well, so that blew my mind. I got that Apple Vision thing, and it has this cell. Like, you can look at a 3D cell, like in VR, and you can like expand it and shrink it. And
what? I'm still trying to fathom what the cell is.
And so it blew my mind, right? So the cell is this little membrane. It's like a skin bag, like a little bubble, and it has holes that go in and out. So it's consuming proteins and excreting waste.
Is this what an actual cell does?
A cell, yeah, okay. An actual cell. And then inside the cell is the DNA strand. It's like a ball of yarn. And then inside that ball is the recipe that's you. And every cell, that's what blew my mind, is every animal, every cell is the same, but it just has different programming. So like an elk or a bear or a moose, it's the same cell. It's just programmed to do different things.
Whoa.
Which blew my mind, yeah. And so it's like a little person, and there's just billions of them, and they're all working together.
And so what is the programming? Is that where it's just the decisions along the way?
To do, yeah, maybe, yeah.
That's weird.
And they come with some kind of, because I always you see the diagram of DNA, and it's like the two swirling.
Yeah, it's usually like a strand, right?
And so that's kind of what it is, but that's the diagram of it. But what it is a ball of yarn. And so that, I was looking at it. It's like it was in front of my face, and I'm like, what
bro,
the
that's
fuck?
crazy.
So I started thinking about that. Yeah, so I'll let you play with it. It's fucking cool.
Dude.
But yeah, so that kind of blew my mind, and it breaks it down. It color codes everything. Like, this is a protein. This is what this does, and it's 50 slides. And you swipe over, but you constantly have this 3D rendering. And every time you swipe over the slide, it tells you something else about it. Like, this is where food is taken, proteins, and they consume nutrients. They get rid of carbon dioxide. Like, it's a whole little life just cruising around.
And that's so. here's my question. So is that like made up of atoms still?
Yeah.
That is not the smallest form of
No.
that.
Yeah. And then that breaks down into all that stuff, and that's even crazier.
Yeah,
you know?
see, that shit's more interesting, I think. Not more interesting, but I think I've been looking more at that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And not so much about the cells.
Yeah.
The cells are cool, though. But, man, that atomic stuff is nuts.
Yeah, it's like so...
Yeah.
There's so many different... And so to me, when it gets down to that level, it looks like a galaxy. Or it looks like the universe, you know.
Isn't that where that whole thing comes into play, though? About, like, what is that called? Fractals, is that? Or...
I'm not sure.
Like... Whether you're super big or super small, like it's almost like just worlds within worlds within.
Yeah,
like
the same thing.
The same.
I think so. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
I would think that too. I mean, we were just in some thing's eyeball or something. You know, like
we were talking about that the other night. Somebody was like, "I think all the stars are just stars. They're balls of gas." And I was like, "Nah." And then somebody was like, "No, they're planets." And then I was like, "No, I don't think that's true either because somebody said once that." It's twinkle, twinkle, little star, and if it's not twinkling, it's a planet.
Yeah,
right?
Planet is steady light, and a twinkle, a star, because it's burning gases, it twinkles.
Right. So, but some of the stars are burning gas, or they're galaxies, right? Like a whole galaxy.
Yeah, a whole galaxy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other thing.
And that's what I was bringing up. They're like, no, that's not true. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's true. I'm pretty sure some of them are actual just big, giant galaxies, but they're so far away that...
Yeah, it looks like one little
star.
Beam of light. And then that's crazy, too, because it's from so far away. It's like time travel, you know? Like right now with that whatever, the new horoscope, James Webb or whatever, they're like, we're looking into the past. Like, they're looking back.
Because some of them are burnt out.
So some of the stars are already burnt out that we're just getting the light from. So it's just like trying to wrap your brain around all that. Like,
yeah, that whole stuff about time and fabric of time and stuff like that is kind of interesting to me, but it's hard for me to fathom.
Yeah,
it's really hard for me to fathom sometimes and get to that point. But it's super interesting. But I mean, if they're talking about what was it, Bob Lazar, that guy. Bob Lazar, have you heard about him?
It sounds familiar.
He's been on a bunch of different talks and stuff like this, and he's bringing up how he worked in a lab that he did reverse engineering, or he was working with people who did that, but they had this stuff called element 113, and they had a device that they would use along with the element, and that device would actually separate space and time. So all of the atoms and everything. And he was explaining it kind of the same as if you have a body of water. Like if you're in a pool, and when you go like this in the water, the water rushes back into it, that space that you're pushing away.
Yeah.
Because there's a void, so it creates a vacuum. So that's why, I mean, other than gravity and all that other stuff that's pulling it into it, but if you do that with the particles and with all these atoms, it creates a vacuum, like a void. And that's why he says things seem like they're traveling so fast.
Huh.
So if you have that, you could just separate and just travel across the whole galaxy, he was saying.
Yeah. I think I've seen that. It just kind of like you slide through.
That's nuts, dude.
I feel like, because they say when you're in trauma or stress or fall, like when you're falling, it seems like, things are going slow motion. Have you had that experience? Like if something... like in stressful, because the way your eye works, it takes like 15 frames per second, and then in times of stress or like life or death situations,
I don't know, because it seems so fast afterwards. I want to say yes that I have experienced it, but then there's a question in my mind, because then after the whole events, it seemed like it went so fast. But in the moment it seems like it kind of slows down, but afterwards it seems very fast. So they're saying your brain, it's kind of like a camera. Like you can change the shutter speed. Your eye does that. And so it goes to 30 frames a second when you're like life or death, run for your life, or it slows down too. So you can kind of control time in that sense of how you absorb the information. Crazy. So
I play with that sometimes. Like if I'm late for work, I'm like, I just got to zen out for a minute, and I feel like the minutes take longer. Again, it's just all in your mind. It's how you perceive it, know, and it seems like it works for me sometimes.
I do that with decision making. Sometimes when I'm even having a conversation, because my mind does go kind of quick sometimes. And I'm like, man, like I need to slow down, because how, like, especially if you're talking to somebody that your responses matter, it's like, wait, hold on, let me really think about this real quick. And sometimes I feel like I can actually just slow down my thinking in a second, or maybe it feels like I'm kind of going through the files, you know, but it seems like that. Like maybe I am slowing down the time. with the quantum computers, I was listening to this TED talk about the quantum computers, and they said to everybody that had shown up to that TED talk, they had asked them to choose between a circle or a square. And by doing a circle or a square, you chose heads or tails, and we're playing a game with these quantum computers. You familiar with the quantum computers? So I've been just watching little videos and stuff on YouTube. So this is all just YouTube talk, right? But in the TED Talks and stuff, the lady said that to everybody in that audience, they had chose between those and that they had played a game. So by playing this game, the computer had won like 99.9% of the time. And the only times that it actually lost was because it was a malfunction. You know, maybe something shorted, but it wasn't because the person actually won. It was just a malfunction in the computer.
Yeah. So
then the way she was explaining it and I don't know, maybe my interpretation's off, but she was saying that like the computers work in the sense that it's in the quantum. So just like if I wanted to move my mic, before I can actually move my mic, I have to send a signal from my brain to my fingers to move my arm to go grab for the mic.
Yeah.
Right. So that's like an infinite amount of time in that sense, because she says that like each second is infinite, and they just seem like they're connecting, but there's no beginning and no end to each second. So then in a sense they're infinite. So by the time you've already made that decision to choose something, the whole entire universe has heard it. It's
adjusted to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I have heard that. Something like that.
And it goes into
That's
other
crazy.
experiments that they've done where the observation changes the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, whoa. So it's kind of weird. I love watching that science stuff, man, because I don't know. Yeah, I feel like you really can just control everything, and maybe that's all we're doing is just making our own worlds up, and we just share this thing in
the space.
And
on Dave Chappelle's new comedy, he's like talking about he's a powerful dreamer,
right?
And he's living his dream, and sometimes I go into other rooms and it's that person's dream,
right?
And and it's like it just depends how big. I heard like your circle of influence, circle of concern, like that's something I try to use on the daily. Like I can be concerned about everything, but if I can't change it, it's outside of my circle of influence, and so I try to keep those two bubbles the same.
What messes me up is that like if you ignore it, it doesn't go away though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, right. Yeah.
What?
But it's again it's a double-sided thing. Like you're trying to expand your circle of influence to be more capable in the world and have more knowledge, but at the same time there's people that are concerned about things that they'll never have an influence on, and so that's where you kind of have to find that balance. And that's it's a struggle.
It is a struggle.
I always say I used to worry about rent 6 months from now, like and it got paid, but I was always like, oh shit, and
some things are easier to back away from, like you're saying that rent thing. That's funny you said that, because I thought about that this morning. I was all like, bro, it doesn't matter how much money I have in my pocket, because I got next year and the year after that, so don't get all trigger happy spending this money. Like, dude, that shit keeps me in line sometimes, though.
Yeah, you got to think about those things.
Damn.
And it's just these little lessons, again, and it's, if it goes into the quantum computing thing, like you're manifesting your destiny, what your thoughts are, they manifest. So you're like speaking into existence. So if you say, I'm tired, I'm lazy, well, then you are. If you say, I'm ready, let's go, then you are, so it's really just how you do that and how you discipline yourself to stay in that lane.
Right.
And it's easy. There's a lot of comfortable parking spots, like, oh, I'll just stop right here. And that's not a bad thing too. I was telling somebody the other day, like sometimes you're just content and I'm cool. Like I don't need more success. I don't need more work. I don't need whatever it is.
Right.
And you're just like, I'm just going to chill and just be happy with what I got. And that's fine too. So everybody's got their.
Sometimes I feel like that. Sometimes I feel super content. And sometimes I just want to go and do something completely different. That's a big thing that I love to do. I love to just try new things, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just stop everything that I'm doing just to try something new.
That's
with
cool.
Like no fucks given, bro. Like, oh yeah, you got 4 kids that you got to raise. Like that's cool. I'm just gonna stop my whole career real quick just to go and try this other stuff out.
Yeah.
And then, but I think fortunately, yeah, bro. No, I jump. Like I'm just like jumping, hoping somebody down there is like gonna catch me.
Catch me, universe.
Yeah, bro. Like, that's how I feel sometimes. That's how Alaska was, kind of like. I just went to Alaska, and I was just trusting people, bro. Like, oh no, it's cool, bro. Like, I'll stay over here, and then yeah, I think in Alaska I really learned about trusting people. Like, you got to be careful who you trust, man. Like, there's a lot of people out there just they don't care about your well-being at all, bro. Like, at all.
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
Yeah, that's a hard one to swallow too, bro. But yeah, life
tricky.
is a trip, man.
It is for sure.
Life is a trip. I like to say that, like, I'll be tattooing and stuff for the rest of my life, but sometimes I'm like, man, I think I'm done with tattooing. But then I just jump back into the next appointment and stuff like this. But
you just gotta find that thing, whatever it is. What's the next?
Bro.
What's
Just
the next
find that
direction?
thing. Yeah.
But that's cool. You put your time in and
yeah, just keep plugging away. I don't have too much longer, like, before, your time is up. Everybody's got a whole long life, but like you said, if you get stagnant, no good. But at some point, you might have to sit and chill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want to be like, I don't want that to be what breaks me or something because I can't move. Or something like that. I already have to sit a lot while I'm tattooing. I'm like, man, so I have to balance it out with movement and hiking and exercising and stuff like that. And I felt that on my body. I was like just grinding away, tattooing, and I was like, man, for some reason I just feel like I need to move. And started thinking about it one day. I was like, man, if I just get up and go to work, like, that's the routine. So wake up, go tattoo all day long, go home, sleep. Like, you're just sitting, sleeping. Dude, no good, bro. No good. So, but it's easy to get caught up in that routine. Really easy, bro. So,
yeah. I always compare it to hiking, right? Like, you do the same trail, it seems like it goes faster because you're seeing the same rocks. You're just an autopilot. It kicks in. And so it's the same thing with life. Like, if you do the same trail every day, autopilot kicks in and years fly by. So you got to change it up. Look around, look up, look down, go a different route. That's the only way to keep life spicy.
I think that's why I don't do too many of one style, man. Like, I'll do a whole bunch of different styles, and I think Polynesian is so diversified in all the different styles that it has. I think I love that, but I'll still mix up different kinds of flows and different kinds of patterns and motifs and stuff like this, just because of that reason. Like, I love trying out new styles, man. Like, I can't ever just stick to one. It's kind of like a thing that some artists will just have one kind of niche that they do. And they just kind of have what is that? Like a design or
like a portfolio?
Consistency. Consistency to like their
the aesthetic.
portfolio. Yeah, the aesthetics to their portfolio. It's like they only do this kind of style, and it's boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And it's actually a good thing. I've heard from some artists. Like, one guy made a good point. He goes, if somebody's looking for something and they see you, they're gonna be like, cool, this is what he does, this is where I'm gonna go to.
Yeah.
And so he's like, you want that. You want to just do one kind of thing and just do it over and over and over until you're so good at it. Like, you're so good, like, that's all you do.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's a good point. But I get so bored, man. Like, I just want to keep on doing all these different stuff. I'm like, man, it keeps it interesting,
Yeah.
Like, if I could do that with life, that'd be badass.
I think it's the fundamentals. Like, for you, you brought up black work, but every time I show someone, I'm always like, look at this guy's stuff. And I'm like, look at this black work. Because that's hard to do.
Yeah.
The consistency, the steady hand. I've seen black work and it looks bad on some people.
It's like patchy.
So if you have the fundamentals, if you got a steady hand and control and a good eye, that is all you need, and then the rest, you can do anything.
Right.
So it's like, if you, I heard a saying, like, yeah, the ocean's deep, but if you can swim, it don't matter. So it's like, you have your fundamentals down in tattooing, you can do any style, anything. So I think, not that you're wrong, you're just doing different styles, but your focus is the fundamentals.
Right.
And that,
at the end of the day, I'm just watching this needle go in the skin, bro. It's like, I think that's why the black work is actually so dope, because I'm just doing that. I'm just applying, boom, 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 and then I get to this border where it's like, oh, stop right here.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. Instead of having to like look back at a reference and be like, oh shoot, it's not looking like this, or I got to do a little bit of shade and gracefulness this way, like. Yeah. But yeah, man, I love just watching that needle go in and just ding, 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 ding.
It's almost like meditation. I say it for me, like at my work, like I love the mindless tasks of just like doing things. Not, I asked for a job that gave me a different challenge every day, which I've got in everything that I do. I'm thankful for that. But also the moments of like just mindless tasks,
Right,
you know, and
right.
that, not that it's a mindless task, but that allows you to think and to expand and to like, when you're in that zone of just, your mind is, it's
Yeah.
like, it all comes together.
It's growing. Yeah.
And you're able to just kind of go in your own little zen.
What was do you know that saying, or the band that said it? Somebody wrote it, that a mind expanded to a new dimension never returns to its original form.
It's the same. Yeah. I've heard something, and it's like you can never put something into the box that it. I've used it, and I don't know how the hell it was, but like your brain will never fit back in that box.
Yeah.
And so for me, I've grown out of a bunch of boxes, you know. And I remember like, and I look back and I'm like, wow. And it's like you said earlier, like, wow, I have a whole lifetime, and it's like it's in the file.
It's there.
But here we are. You know, what's
here
next?
We are.
And so I look back and I'm like, wow, I could never go back to that and never just be the same.
Yeah.
Because I'm me now, you know. And that's what's cool. That's the journey.
Sometimes I feel like you can, or like I can, but then it's like those. I think that's the reality check. You're like, nah, you're this now, and here we are.
Yeah, because you would go back. You could be in that same situation, but it's that river one, right? Like you could step in the same place in the river, and it's never the same river.
True.
You know,
true, bro.
Same thing with you. You can step into where you were before, but it's not you. It's you now.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the difference. Like you have to realize that.
That's the weird thing. All that science talk, they talk about time being able to be, you know, used like back and forth. It's like, I don't think so, man. Like I'm pretty sure I'm just right here. Like in this time.
Yeah. Forward, never backwards, you know.
Yeah, dude.
I don't think I could go back. It's going to break something.
Yeah, dude. I don't think I would want to, though, man. I mean, except maybe to re-experience it, or like to redo. No, actually, I wouldn't want to redo it.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like I'm like, I don't regret anything.
Yeah, they would change everything.
Because if I didn't have to go through that, I wouldn't be where I am now, and I'm super thankful.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, this is dope, dude. I think where we're at right now is dope, dude.
Yeah, and it's only going to get better.
Right.
Because we're going to keep working at it.
Heck yeah.
That's the goal.
Palm Springs, man. Did you see yourself in Palm Springs? Like,
no.
No?
I didn't see any of this.
No, huh?
I was supposed to be doing something else.
What was your original plans like?
I had bad plans. I was like, I'm just going to do bad things. And, and you know, I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to ride this out. And,
no way.
And so for me, like, I'm always take it to the extreme, whatever it is, you know. And
so even when I met you, like, all those years ago, was that before or after the great transition?
That was before. That
really?
Was like, yeah. I was just like, all right, I'm doing this. This is what I know. This is what I've been exposed to. I was in that box.
Yeah. And
then I was like, oh, wait a minute. What about this box? You know, that's what about that? And I've grown since then. And, you know, a lot of it comes out of nowhere. Like the real estate thing. I was in restaurants, and then I was like, I'm going to try this real estate thing. Boom, whole rabbit hole, you know.
Right.
And so here I am 8 years later or whatever. And
looks like you're crushing it, though, bro.
It's going.
It really looks good. It really looks really good, man.
Yeah. So that's cool. You never know. You never know. You know,
you like, never know, bro. You never know.
So I always try to tell people, like, you never know. Like, just if it sucks right now, a door may open, and you're like, hey. So you got to be ready, right? Yeah. You got to. The people say, "Oh, I'll do better when I get better." Well, that's not how it works.
Yeah, no.
I'll do more when I get more. Well, that's not how it works.
Plugging away right
you got to be
now,
ready.
Yeah.
Go, and then it'll come because it manifests. The universe is like, oh, the vibrations, like you said, like it's going to give you.
It's going to keep blowing the wind into that corner.
Yeah,
all of that trash. Sorry.
Yeah, it'll blow all that shit out.
I got this one corner, bro, that I'm always cleaning trash out of. And
the metaphorics, I love that shit.
I think about that all the time.
Life.
I'm like, hey, this is not going to change, bro. The wind's always going to put the trash right here. Just come out and check it. You know what I mean? Don't wait for that trash to build up. Just
the discipline.
Yep.
I had a septic tank I had to pump out the other day, and I was just like, I like to stay ahead of my shit. You know, like and the guy, I'm cracking all these jokes, and the guy's just like, I've heard this 50,000 times.
You're just digging for one he might not have heard.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, reaction, no.
Yeah.
But
that's so funny, dude.
But that's the life lessons, you know, like, or hiking. Again, I go back to hiking. Like when you start kicking rocks, I'm like, pick your feet up. You know, that's life. Yep. Like shit's gonna happen. You just got to step over it.
Yeah, that's
you can't, you know, because then people start kicking, fucking goddamn rocks. Like,
bro, yeah, fucking goats, bro. Like I'm kicking not the goat, but I'm kicking the rocks too, bro. Yeah. Like fucking pissed off at these goats. Like, dude, have you had a goat before, man? Those motherfuckers get on everything, bro. Like. I had what is it? A pomegranate tree, bro. They ate it, and I wanted those pomegranates, bro.
Yeah, they eat everything, right?
Fucking love pomegranates, bro.
Goats are good for you, though. My dad, he loves goat milk, and he's like, you ever seen a sick goat? And I'm like, that's
I
fucking
have
true.
done.
Well, I'm going to tell him about you.
Bro, I done seen them croak.
Oh,
Two of them,
damn.
dude. Like, they just sit there. Because, they're usually like, all over the place, bro.
Yeah.
All day long. Nope. This guy got sick. I had two of them get sick like that, a male and a female. And the male started out like that, just kind of staring at me.
You're like, oh, shit.
I was like, oh, he's not looking good, bro. Next day, gone. Same thing with his mom, or with the female, not his mom. But
Yeah.
she was the mom. She had, like, probably, like, 4 rounds of kids, dude. Like, this girl was putting out kids.
Yeah.
That's funny as hell. That's
Got a
what they're
little
called,
flock, or what do you call a goat group?
Kids.
Kids. Oh, yeah.
That's what they're called, bro. Kids. Little baby goats.
That's funny.
I don't know about the group. It might be a herd or a flock, bro. But, yeah, she had a gang of them, bro. We got her, and she had already had a bunch of kids. And then when we had her, she had 2 more, bro. Like, so, yeah. Thinking about doing a whole goat tattoo on my chick.
There you go.
Yeah.
Should be the goat.
Dude, my girl's a healer of all sorts of stuff, bro. She's healed chickens, goats, kids, goats, real kids. Dude, Randy's amazing. But, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, she does all kinds of magic, dude. I've seen our chicken had its tongue ripped out of its throat right here, bro. It was like hanging out like a piece of jerky. It was all dried up, looked like it was about to fall off. But it was like kind of red towards the base, so you could tell it was just not normal. I was like looking at the chicken, and she's like, dude, it's the tongue. Like, it got ripped out. So she stuck it back in there, bro, and the tongue got all back to normal, bro, and the chicken lived for at least another 6 months. And then coyotes or something ate it. So it's a rough life out there in Morongo, bro. It's dark. No street lights. No nothing. You just get barking dogs, dude.
Yeah.
We got a Great Pyrenees. We got a pit bull, and we got a German short-haired pointer, and they bark like crazy, bro. So that's the best thing that I got for out there in that dark-ass valley.
Yeah. You need that. Yeah.
You have to, man. It's getting kind of crazy out there. People bought up a lot of property in the last, like, 5 to 10 years, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a bunch of random stuff going on all over the place out there.
Yeah.
But lots of parties, bro. Somebody bought up a house up against the mountain, bro. It's just like...
Vacation rental.
I don't know, man, but they got flashing lights, bro, and just parties all the time. I'm like, dude, that shit looks inviting, dude. But, yeah. I don't roll up to it or nothing. But I want to. Sometimes I'm like, damn, man.
Walk over there. What's
Yeah,
up?
dude. I don't see that shit anymore. Living out there. One thing we do have, bro, is like, you get out in the middle of the night, dude, the stars are bright, bro.
Yeah.
I walked out with my son. I forget for what, but it was like midnight. We both were like, oh, he's like, dude, look at the stars. I was like, I didn't know, man.
Yeah, you see a lot.
Yeah, they're mesmerizing.
I'm in Sky Valley right now. So it's almost out there. It's not quite as far out, but you get some good skies out there, too.
Yeah, the mountains they block off enough of that light pollution, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's like a straight funnel up. But am I holding up your time, man? I don't want to hold you up too long.
No, we're good. But I think we could wrap it up now. I appreciate you coming out.
Bro, most definitely.
We'll do it again.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Good shit. Never worked this call either.
Yeah, I think the mushrooms are Well, I started feeling them a little bit ago. Like, take that one off the record.
Yeah, we'll cut that.
Heck yeah, bro.
All right, brother. Baby, thanks for coming out.
Most
We'll do it
definitely.
again.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah.